Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we return to Ouroboros King, a tactical variant chess roguelite. Let's dive in. Alright, we'll continue the run, and in the comments of the first video, a lot of you guys recommended that I upgrade my assassin to a Blade Runner. That doesn't sound right, but we'll try to upgrade the assassin since so many of you guys recommended it and said that it was a very strong strategy. Now we're starting this map, the Marsh of Madness, apparently a swamp area home to strange creatures and putrid fumes. We have three different ways we can go. We can go to the training grounds to recruit even more new units. We can go to the obelisks to sacrifice something for a better reward. And finally, we can go to the armory to upgrade one of our units. Now, it does say only units upgradable at the armory can be upgraded this way, and I'm not 100% sure if the assassin meets those conditions, but we're gonna go this way and see if we can get that upgrade. All right, we enter the game, and we can immediately see that black has an immortal piece, which moves like a king and can only be killed by a king, and a war wagon, first time seeing this piece, which moves like a rook or a king. For the first time, we also have portals. So units entering the portal gate exit through the other gate in the same direction they were moving. Oh, interesting. So it's like continuous. So we'll have to watch out for those when there are more sort of long range moving pieces on the board. We also have some new items. A hammer, destroy a boulder on the battlefield. You can still move afterward. And the other one is an exploding rock. Place an explosive on the battlefield and pass your turn. This will be good for trapping pieces in the future, but we're on the first level, so we shouldn't need any of this. As a refresher, we also have this relic called the Finisher, which basically says that if the king is left alone, the enemy wins the game. We also have that same exact relic, so as long as we take all of the enemy's pieces, then we will be victorious. The king takes back. Now we just have to get rid of the immortal, which can only be captured by our king. So I guess maybe we should try to mate the enemy king. So let's start by advancing our Viking, which can move twice in any orthogonal direction. The king shuffles back over. We do have this glass queen, which we could use to cut off the 7th rank, and we have an assassin as well. I'm going to start advancing the assassin as well as the Viking, because some of you may remember that this queen is in fact a glass queen, meaning if she gets captured, she does not reappear in future games. The AI once again offers a draw. This is like when you're in those tournaments and your opponent is sorely losing and just throws a Hail Mary draw just to see if you'll take it. Anyways, the immortal advances, does target the Viking. I suppose we should step back. Maybe I moved forward a little too quickly. We'll maneuver around with the assassin as well, and maybe if we advance with both pieces simultaneously, the AI won't know which one of these two to target. In fact, we'll even bring in the queen now with check. Okay, the immortal goes back to cover, and I can't capture it because the only piece that can capture the immortal, hence the name, is my king. So I'll move the queen back, giving check a different way. The king shuffles out of the way. We'll advance the assassin. We need some piece to actually defend the queen in delivering that checkmate. Might as well move the musketeer forward as well. The immortal shuffles forward to target the queen. We'll go ahead and take a step back, and it shuffles over again, this time targeting the assassin. I suppose we can give a check. The king does move out of the way. We'll give another check, and as long as I'm giving check at a distance, the immortal can't cover and simultaneously target my queen. We'll move the assassin back once more. Okay, and they move the immortal back as well. I was wondering if it would follow us. Okay, we'll just bring more pieces into the battle. The king shuffles over. We'll move the Viking upwards as well, unleashing the musketeer. The immortal comes out to cover that file now. I could sacrifice the Viking. I could advance the assassin. Should the immortal take, I can give check, and at that point the immortal would be too far away to help protect the king. So I'm going to advance the assassin. Oh, okay, the immortal shuffles over instead. We'll go ahead and give check, and check again. It is a glass queen, so there's a very real chance that I lose her. But no, the king moves back. We're down to 40 battle gold in reward. If it goes down to 0, I don't know if we lose or if it's an auto draw. I don't quite remember. But that does go down with time, so we might not earn very much from this first battle. Let's go ahead and advance the assassin, and we should be threatening mate in 1. Okay, the immortal captures the Viking. With any luck, actually no, I don't need any luck. I can just give check on the back rank, and the assassin covers all of these squares. So we give check, king moves up, we capture the king, and we do win the first game. Rather inefficiently, to be honest. There was probably something there that I could have done better, but we do get to grab our upgrade. Okay, supposedly this is the one we're supposed to upgrade, the assassin. Select a piece to upgrade, so we'll select the assassin, and it upgrades to a blade dancer, not a Blade Runner. I was thinking of the movie, which means now it can jump 2 squares horizontally and up to 2 vertically, or vice versa. After killing a unit, you can move again once per turn, which should give me some kind of terrifying range across the board. So I look forward to using this piece. All right, we'll grab our upgrade. We now have a blade dancer, and there's 2 places we can go from here. We can go to the training grounds to recruit more units, which I'm generally a fan of. I generally like just having more and more pieces. Not to mention we have ruins ruins further down anyways, so if we go ruins, then we'll just go ruins again. Whereas if we go to the training grounds, we can grab another piece, then go to the ruins, and then grab yet another piece before the final boss battle, which seems to be the Tower of Trickery. And actually, we can go over here as well, the shop. Interesting. Okay, I think we should go to the training grounds. I'm more excited about grabbing myself one last piece to have a full army, and we also get a boomerang. You guys also let me know in the comment that it's because I have a magic suitcase, which at the start of each battle, it says they're clear as day, gives us a random item that we can use. So I really should have no fear about using these items. I'll keep getting them throughout the game. The item we've gotten now is the boomerang. After your next move, the moving unit returns to its initial location. Oh, that's kind of fun. Okay, what is the opponent working with? Another immortal, another rook, which will surely just trade off, and then a cardinal, which moves like a bishop or a king. Oh, and because it moves like a bishop, you can see it can make its way through this portal and then continue outward to capture the rook. Okay, we'll start by trading rooks. I think that's the most appropriate way to start this. The cardinal no longer looks at any of the portals, which is nice. Can I use any of these? We do have an exploding rock, which would be kind of nice to place on the immortal and just sort of get it out of my hair. I don't know if that's how this works. Might as well place it. Oh no, we cannot place it on. Oh, we can place it on the cardinal, but not on the immortal. It makes sense. Only the king can remove the immortal. So, okay, we'll get rid of the cardinal, I suppose. Or can we not do that either? Oh no, the cardinal is just highlighted because it just moved. Okay, so the exploding rock is more of a wall that we can place in the way of the opponent, but not so much an attacking instrument. The other one is the boomerang. I guess we could use this. We'll line up an attack on the cardinal. If I can use the boomerang, which it's now moved out of the way, so not quite. But if I can use the boomerang, I can use it to capture the cardinal, even if it's quote unquote protected, and then move my queen back out to safety. So let's move further into the position, targeting the cardinal again. Cardinal moves out of the way once more. Fair enough. It now targets the blade runner, or rather the blade runner. I really want to call it that so badly, but it now targets the blade dancer, which I suppose I can just move out of the way. So we'll move forward to c4, and the cardinal, puts us in check and targets the blade dancer. So I've now managed to almost lose it. Luckily, I have queen to c5 afterwards, which puts the king in check, and then I can take back. But that is a little bit annoying because it is putting us in check at the moment. So I do have to move out of the way. Go ahead and move my king to c1. We do lose the blade dancer, which is a little bit of a pity, but luckily I do have this check. Oh, probably should have moved that to c6. Luckily, I have 12 rewinds, so I'll use one of them right now. We'll go to c6, and now we can take back the cardinal. Okay, we've received another draw offer, which we will have to politely decline. The king moves over to b8. We have this rather annoying immortal that we have to work with. So let's do this. Let's advance our own. At the very least, we can meet fire with fire, their immortal versus ours, and we can sort of figure things out the hard way from there. So we'll advance the immortal. The king moves forward to target the immortal. Interesting. But now I can just defend it with the queen, right? Yeah, now should the king take, I would simply take back with the queen. The immortal moves back. Let's bring the Viking into play. King shuffles out of the way. We'll advance the Viking again, and the immortal comes up to defend. Once more, we're down to 80 gold of reward. So by the time we get to the shop, we're not going to have a lot of pennies to pinch from to actually buy anything. But for the time being, I think just winning the games and collecting relics and items and whatnot is okay. Our setup is decent enough that that's justified. Ooh, wait a minute. The musketeer can actually see through the portal and then see the king behind it. So if I move the immortal out of the way, you would think the musketeer looks at the king. Oh, it did, but now the immortal stands in the way trying to defend it. Okay, interesting. Let's move the Viking a little closer then and put the king in check. And he has to move out of the way. Now what happens if I put you in check again? He hides in the corner. Surely this is not sustainable. The draw offer is still on the table. I believe now queen to d8 should just deliver mate. Play queen to d8. Right, they capture our blade dancer, but we can capture the king and win the second game as well. Nice. Okay, we walk away. Oh, if the glass queen is the last one to capture, she also doesn't respawn? Interesting. I was under the impression that should the opponent capture our glass queen, she wouldn't be able to respawn, but I didn't realize if I captured a piece with her, she would also not respawn. Well, I guess that's one more spot that we have now for another piece, and one less annoying piece sort of out of our hair. Okay, let's size up these recruits. We have Agent Plus, moves like a rook. After moving it, it transforms into Agent X, that moves like a bishop. And it upgrades to Agent Apostrophe, which I suppose moves in all those sort of apostrophe pointing directions. The other one is the decoy, moves by changing places with any ally, can kill on one square diagonally. When killed, kills its killer. That is surprisingly powerful because you can sort of just stuff that in the opponent's face, and should they ever try to capture it, it would self-destruct whatever piece they used to eliminate it in the first place. The last one is, okay, once again, the portal mage, move to any unoccupied square, can only kill adjacent squares. And it also costs 534 gold, but it does have that sort of teleportation ability, which I think would be very handy to have. Decoy or Agent Plus? You know what? Let's go with the mage. It's about time that I pay my respects to the mage that's been made available to us. So we'll grab the mage and let's just place it next to the king. Okay, we are now down to our final pennies, but no fear, we have an amazing army to work with. Only one place to advance to the ruins. Discover relics that will grant you permanent bonuses. Let's hop on in. All right, we've been granted yet another item. This time it is a rook in a bottle. All of your moves this turn are rook moves, regardless of the unit that you moved. Interesting. And the opponent is now working with much heavier artillery. They have a princess, which moves 1 square cardinally or up to 2 diagonally. And after killing a unit, it transforms into a queen for the rest of the combat. Okay, interesting. So try not to let this capture anything without being able to take right back. They also have a musketeer, which rather annoyingly stares into the portal, which means it also stares at our musketeer, or rather our Viking. And the opponent also has a rook. Okay, let's start by advancing our immortal. They advance their musketeer, right? So we've sort of blocked their ability to attack down the gate. I suppose that the musketeer can shoot down the gate as well. We'll continue to advance the immortal. The rook moves forward now. What's stopping me from just giving check and trying to take one of these princesses? So check. Oh, the princess blocks. I think it's in my best interest to just take. Okay, the king does take back, and with that, we no longer have a rook on the board, but we still have plenty to work with. Let's go ahead and move the Viking over. The princess advances. Oh, I know what I should have done. I should have captured that princess and moved my rook back. Hold on. We're going to use 2 of these rewinds. So 1 and 2. And what I'm going to do is use the boomerang. After your next move, the moving unit returns to its initial location. So I'm going to use the boomerang and I'm going to capture the princess, which moves my rook back. Oh, and uncovers the princess behind it. Sweet. Right. So now with that trade, we've managed to capture both of the princesses, both out of our hair. We have consumed the boomerang, but in a much better fashion than the initial capture. Okay, so now we are completely winning. I just have to sort of convert everything here. Okay, the Viking, or rather the rook sees the Viking, which is totally fine. The musketeer moves backwards. Interesting. So I can advance my immortal. The rook moves out of the way, and I can fire down into the portal, but it doesn't actually see anything. So that is not of great interest at the moment. We could also move the mage, which can move pretty much anywhere on the board that is unoccupied. Let's advance the blade dancer. I haven't really gotten a chance to use it and sort of feel out how it moves. Let's give this check. King moves forward. Oh, I see. And right, the blade dancer doesn't actually hit the king because it targets that sort of outer rung. Okay, we'll move out of the way again. How's this? The king does take, but now isn't it trapped now with this forward movement of the Viking? Because the musketeer covers the file, blade dancer covers the rank, or these rocks on the D file. So isn't this just sort of checkmate? The king advances and I should just be able to take. Okay, I get it now. Right. Okay, I see the appeal of the blade dancer. I wasn't really understanding it before, but I can see if you're sort of on your toes, it's not a bad one to coordinate with your other pieces to get a pretty quick, easy checkmate. Okay, with that victory, we get to select a relic. The first one is the Golden Axe. Killing enemy units awards you 30 gold. With how many moves it takes us to win, it's not a bad idea. The other one is the Dwarven Helmet. Your units aren't affected by bomb explosions. They're still affected by martyrs explosions. We haven't really seen any bombs come into play. I don't know if this is a warning sign that in the future, we're going to be sticking our head in the sand out of fear of the surrounding bombs, but I haven't seen the enemy place any relics of that nature, or rather items of that nature. And the last relic we can choose costs 957 gold, so not really any point in considering it. I mean, we can read it. It's called the Bodyguard Horn. If your king or general is your only unit left, get a queen at the start of your turn. Interesting. I mean, it sounds really cool. Not that I'd ever be in a position where I don't have any pieces left, but okay, we could do the Dwarven Helmet or we can do the Golden Axe. I mean, I'm not really interested in either of these. I guess we'll go with the Dwarven Helmet just as a sort of precaution. I'm not super worried about collecting gold. I mean, I have to make my way to the shop right now anyways. Actually, the other option is I could get another recruit. We could also go to another ruin. I don't know. We've never been to a shop before, and sort of just out of curiosity, which has killed the cat, but out of curiosity, I'd like to go to the shop. Purchase consumable items with your hard-earned gold. I only have 255 gold, but we'll see what happens. Oh, we still have to fight it out. Okay, this is going to be fun. Okay, the opponent has a war wagon, which moves like a rook or a king, another cardinal, another princess, and a normal rook. Okay. Oh, we still have a boomerang. Oh, does it always regenerate? That's really interesting, actually. Okay, I guess I'll use it right away and capture the cardinal, also putting the king in check. I'll take the princess right behind it. Sure. The war wagon takes back, which does put the king in check. We'll go ahead and just block with the Viking. The rook moves forward. Now can I just place the exploding rock? I guess if I had a way to trigger it, it would be a little bit more concrete. Let's advance the immortal first. We'll advance the immortal. The rook shuffles out of the way. We'll advance the immortal again, looking for the fork on c6. Whoa, okay, and it teleports down to h1, threatening the musketeer. We'll just move the Viking over. over, which indirectly defends it. Sure, and the war wagon moves back. I should just be able to advance the immortal. The war wagon moves out of the way. Now I can just take the rook. Okay, the king takes back. We've already been offered another draw. Now we just have to sort of string together a victory from this position. Okay, let's start by advancing the blade dancer. The rook moves over to pin it to our king. We'll advance the Viking as well, and the king moves back. Okay, let's bring out the musketeer so it can look down the D file and bring the Viking back. Now I think it's in my best interest to move the portal mage down to C6. It says I can only kill adjacent squares, so well, maybe not. I guess I'd only be attacking D6 and B6. Oh, here's an idea. We'll give check with the blade dancer. The king has to move into the line of sight of the musketeer, which means I can move the blade dancer again, targeting the war wagon, and then I can take to win the game. Wow, that is genuinely very difficult to see. Okay, why is the opponent not moving? Oh, I can move again. Oh, because I've captured a piece. Sure, I guess. Move again. That should automatically win us the game. Okay, cool. Yeah, it really is a strong piece. I understand now its value. It's a little bit difficult to play with. It's not intuitive at all, even as a chess player, but if you sort of just sit there and brute force calculate it, you will definitely get the hang of it in due time. Okay, now we've officially entered the shop. We can buy stuff. Luckily, everything is within our price range. I guess the shopkeeper is having a wonderful sale because everything is somehow under 300 gold. So the first one is Knight in a Bottle. So all your moves this turn are knight moves regardless of the unit you moved. The other one is the Pocket Boulder. Place a boulder on the battlefield. You can still move it after. And the last one is Rook in a Bottle. All your moves this turn are rook moves, and it seems to be 3 of each and 2 of the knight moves. It says, yep, just a plain old rock, but it's 3 of them, which seems really amusing. So I'm gonna go with this one. I don't know if that's a super useless buy, but I like the sound of that. Oh, I can buy up to 3 of them. Okay, I've just now spent quite a pretty penny on a boulder. Okay, I thought I was buying all 3, but let's move forward to the final boss battle, the Watchtower. Okay, we meet an evil queen of some kind. Ooh, and we get a new piece as well. Not to mention the enemy now has a brand new relic. This time it is the Feather Necklace. Move a friendly unit to a square occupied by another of your units to swap them, which is actually a huge concern because it sort of works like the mage, doesn't it? Where a piece can penetrate the back rank and then get swapped out for a stronger piece. So we have a bishop, we have a cardinal, a musketeer, a knight, and we also have Tabitha the Deceptive. Move like any of the enemy units except the portal mage. Okay, well that's kind of annoying. Holy smokes, that's a strong piece. Again, luckily I can hover over it and see where it's moving. One of you guys also commented that if I hover over the sword, I can see everything the opponent is currently attacking, which is quite useful. Okay, we'll start by taking the rook. Oh goodness, what do I do here? You know what? Let's place this bomb on E6. It does a couple of things. 1, it blocks the musketeer from moving down through the portal and hitting the rook. And 2, it covers up the cardinal and Tabitha the Deceptive right behind it. So we'll place a bomb on E6. The cardinal develops to H5, now targeting the musketeer. Now, I think I'd quite like to place the boulder here on G4 and then advance my own musketeer to E2 with the idea of landing it on F3 and looking directly at the king. Okay, the opponent's musketeer moves back as well. I think I can continue to advance my own, forces the king to come up. Oh, and of course they have they have the Feather Necklace, which means they can just swap these 2 pieces and have no issues left. Luckily I can hit the knight and the musketeer moves back out of the way. Tabitha the Deceptive moves to H6. I think as long as I play this carefully, I really shouldn't be in any grave danger. Let's continue by advancing the Blade Runner, or goodness, the Blade Dancer to C4. The musketeer develops as well, sort of skewering the Blade Dancer and the Viking behind it. I believe now we can just play, oh no, wait, can this capture diagonally? I think it can, although I'm not sure. I feel like it can only, the musketeer can only attack on the file, but it does say it's covering D6, so I'm not so certain. Okay, I'm going to advance the immortal. Should the opponent, oh, the opponent can take and just move back. Never mind, that was a terrible idea. Okay, we'll keep the Blade Dancer on the board. We'll move it back to E3, I suppose. Cardinal and the Tabitha the Deceptive swap. So now the Cardinal sees the Blade Dancer again, which is kind of a big issue. Let's advance the Blade Dancer to F5, targeting Tabitha the Deceptive. Okay, she shuffles over, so she's no longer in danger. I could capture one of these other pieces. Wait, doesn't one of these let me fly over stuff? On your next move, the unit can fly over boulders and bombs. Wait, so I've already mated the opponent because I have this rook looking down into this portal, out of this portal, into this bomb. But that looks at the king, or rather the general. So I should just be able to use this and capture the king. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So the AI doesn't account for that. To be honest, I wasn't even looking for those ideas. I sort of just assumed the AI would play against it. Okay, and with that, we get through the second map. I do believe this is the 3rd and final map. And obviously, to not make you guys wait for weeks before getting the entire series, this will be tomorrow's episode. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if there was anything that I missed or any new strategies that I can invoke using the Blade Dancer, which in my head is now unfortunately permanently burned in as the Blade runner, I feel like I made a lot of quick progress. So if you guys have any similar advice, let me know down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.